Welcome back, everyone, and welcome back to The Coach Approach. It's your coach, Blake the Black Faker, and in this video, I know you guys are waiting for it. A lot of you guys have been requesting more of these videos. Is it clickbait? That series. I will be putting out more of these. Don't worry. This video is called The Challenger Mindset is How You Climb Fast. Or this Challenger Mindset is How You Climb Fast. All rules. No such thing as climbing fast. All of it takes work. These videos are not meant to BM the makers. These videos are just meant to go over and put you in the mindset that I have as a coach to what's kind of bull versus what's pretty factual. Sometimes when you're climbing, you don't really know what's good content for you to learn from. You don't really know what stuff you already know, and it's just rephrased differently. So in this series, I try to do my best to make sure you guys understand. So like I said, this Challenger Mindset is how you climb fast. Let's see if anything in here is clickbait or if this is all factual and this is good knowledge for us. So without further ado, let's approach this like a coach. And as well, before we start the video, I just want to give a big shout out to Infinity. Thank you for supporting me. Of course, the Patreons, all you guys right here, I always give you guys a shout out. This is part of your package. So Kited by Minions, thank you. Seth, thank you. Care Bear, thank you. Reaper, thank you. ABC Troll, thank you. Legendary, thank you. Micah, or is it Mika? I'm gonna assume it's Micah. Sorry if I butchered that, but thank you as well. New, actually, he just joined, so thank you. Tiny Panther, thank you. Venom just joined too, so thank you to you, Venom. And then Yusaki. So it was like really red down there because I have him in the boot camp. But yeah, thank you for joining. If you guys are at Patreon, like I said, you guys do get coaching, you guys do get VOD reviews, you guys do get first in line for everything. And a lot of you guys are in the boot camp, so a lot of other people that aren't Patreons were able to join in, but you guys get that first in line. This is what you guys get. So for every event that I do, you guys will be. You also get a free giveaway ticket too to permanently add to your record. So thank you guys for supporting me. I appreciate it. If you guys would like to be a Patreon or even scope around and see what it's about, link in the description below. But without further ado, let's get started with the video.
Hey everyone, our guides are the best of the best, and you don't really need anything else to get better. But breaking down your own gameplay and learning from it is super important as well. One of the biggest pain points viewers default to when watching any league guide is that the situation doesn't apply to them, and they have a different issue than the one we're resolving, such as inting teammates, lower elo players, etc. This is why team games are less painful than solo games, like StarCraft. Lose a game there, and there's nobody to blame but yourself. Look at a replay and you know exactly what to look for, and find it much easier to identify your mistakes. In League of Legends, it's natural to pay attention to your teammates' mistakes instead of your own, which over time makes it hard to tell what you've actually done wrong when you're finally ready to admit your own mistakes. We have a psychology course that focuses on a lot of this stuff, and in this special guide, we're going to break down a step-by-step process of how I, as a challenger, approach my own gameplay to identify mistakes with the correct remedy at hand. The game we're going to use is from my Diamond 1 Smurf, where I'm playing Graves mid. Before getting into the gameplay, let's quickly go over the matchup. I'm playing Graves mid versus Malz. Graves is a range AD bruiser versus Malz a range AP control mage. Graves has more wave clear and more burst damage, while Malz...
Alright, so just kind of to start this off right now, learning from a Smurf game, you're obviously going to appear better. When I do guides and stuff like that, not on this channel, I have another channel called Coach Blaker, if you guys didn't already know. And when I did guides on that channel, it was always in my own games. Or I would take a look at a challenger game and kind of break down the processes like I do in my Patreon for those exclusive videos. Now, I already don't like the fact that he's playing Graves mid. It just shows that he doesn't really care about the game. It's just a game where he did well, and I guess he's choosing to use it as an explanation tool. I don't like that. Clearly, it wasn't a well thought out thing to where he could play something that you guys would most likely be playing, especially because the target focus is around gold, maybe plat, maybe, and then lower than gold, obviously. So I already don't like that. So let's continue though.
Small poke trade. And before we go any further, don't worry, this video will hardly have anything to do with Graves, and the concepts can be applied to any champion. Now, you might be thinking, really, Graves mid? This is trolling. This gets me into one of my first important messages for all of you. that it is very, very rare that the champion you choose loses you the game. And what I mean by this is your gameplay and decision making will always be the case. I personally play a lot of off-meta stuff like allowing mid or vi mid and challenger, so if it works there, it works anywhere. Basically, when you're breaking down your own games, trying to figure out why you...
I don't like that. He's right about the gameplay, but don't hurt yourself by choosing champions that aren't supposed to be there, because you need to understand the concepts, and a lot of the champions that go to that specific role helps you understand concepts more than just playing some weird thing. So I don't like that. Don't do that. When you become a challenger player, when you become a grandmaster, master, or even diamond, you can then start like diverting, because you pretty much know the essentials of your role, and you can kind of make stuff happen. But don't play weird stuff, because certain champions that go to that role often teach you how to play the role properly, especially the easier ones.
Lost. Your first thought should never be, we lost because I picked a certain champion, maybe I should have picked this one. Or, I'm not climbing because I play these champions, what other champion should I pick? If you're not good at that champion, then it's a different story. But anyways, my missions for this lane are: Mission 1, push the wave. Graves has more wave clear, so I want to be pushing for pressure. Mission 2, look for burst trades. After pushing, I want to use my burst trade advantage with Electrocute to chunk Malzahar as much as I can. And then Mission 3, maintain pressure without dying. While pushing, it makes Malz have to use his abilities to farm, and gives me constant mid priority, which is very important. Alright, let's get into the gameplay. At the start of the game, we have one of those awfully annoying situations that we all experience.
Someone gets first
engages so
blood.
much buff, and
Yeah.
you're not sure what to do. If you help them, you can die and lose your lane, and if you don't, they might quit the game or rage, or just get really behind. Let's see how I handle it. I head over, since we definitely are stronger at level 1, as Lucian, Graves, Senna, and Teemo versus Gragas, Malzahar, Bard, and Kai'Sa. First, let's see what happens, then we'll rewind and break it down. Alright, so the first important thing to breaking down your gameplay is ignore what your teammates do. Do not say, well, my teammates should have done this, etc., because even if that's true, winning in solo queue is learning how to play around your teammates' mistakes and to play for yourself. So with that in mind, before watching this, let's create a list of priorities. That can apply to almost any situation like this in your own games as well. First priority for these level 1 fights is to stay alive. This is because minions have met in mid now, and losing early experience can lose the game. Levels are super important in League, so it's not worth for me to go 1v3 like this just to get one kill. Second priority is to just make sure Teemo gets the red buff. For him to get the red buff, we don't even need to kill them, we can just push them away by running at them. Again, my mistake for going in 1v3. Then the last on the priority list is kills. Kills really aren't important here. The kills come if the enemy overstays, so it's better to just stay alive and protect the red, and if they greed for it, we'll kill them. Alright, so what should I have done? I want you to think about it first, because I have a good idea on what most of you will focus on. I would have to guess, most of you are probably thinking to flash the body slam. This is a natural thing to gravitate towards, because it's the most visually obvious thing when analyzing gameplay. With more thought, and the knowledge that correct decision making is the key to climbing, microplays are much less important than the decision I made to rush into this fight. Sometimes microplays can be the only difference, but it's just really rare. So the right play here is to just realize I can play slower and more patient.
Exactly.
I don't need to kill anyone. So I can just walk at them since they're running away anyways and let my team handle the Kai'Sa. That's why they weren't here to help me. If I play slow, there's no way they can kill me, and then they all get screwed for the early game. Gragas is going to start a buff really late with no leash and no health. Malzahar will miss CS in mid and have to use his potions already.
Yep.
I know what you might be thinking though, what if they're invading and you actually lose the fight to level 1, and your teammates stick around and try to fight it anyway? What do? It's easy, think of the priority list. First priority is to stay alive. If you don't win the level 1 fight, just go to mid lane and don't bother helping. You can't do anything about the red buff. Alright, let's move on now as I come out of base.
Alright, everything you said I agree with. Little priority thing might be a little cliche, might be just something to make it seem like you don't know what you're talking about, and you don't know how to handle the situation. Obviously, they know you don't want to die. And if you have teleport, getting a first blood kill, even if you do die, is fine. You can teleport back with an item above your person. I don't agree with that. I definitely think an item start in lane is huge, especially because when you get those levels through your teleport, you'll be fine. He is right though. If you don't have teleport, well, he didn't say that, but if you don't have teleport and you end up dying in a situation, you do come to lane late, especially if they didn't die themselves. And yeah, you're gonna be low on levels, and you have to try to catch back up. If I was him, like he was saying before, going for that kill, that's a little greedy thing to do, but on Graves, it's fine because Graves does really well with those kills. I don't know why he didn't like mention that. Some champions just do really well with some kills, and they're not really behind that much of a level if you do show up late after you do get the kills. But he should have just played a little slower and went backwards if they were engaging, and just keep kind of toying with them until like what he said was right. So I do agree with that. Just I feel like you guys would know not to die in a situation like that. So like it's a little cliche there, but everything else, I agree.
Missing the first few CS and don't have a potion or any summoner spells. As I get to lane, the wave is pushing to me, so I start auto attacking minions to get level 2 and start pushing the other way for mission 1. While doing this, Teemo comes from top to gank and we just barely miss the kill on Mal's. He has TP though, so he actually doesn't miss much from this. But since the wave is pushing to me, I'm not going to shove and I'm going to let the enemy wave kill my wave to deny Mal some CS until he teleports. But since my Teemo is invading the enemy Gragas red buff, and I denied some CS already, I start pushing so I can have priority to help him on the invade. The most important thing here is to crash the wave on the tower. This keeps Malzahar there to farm it, and I don't miss any CS. I'm free to move wherever I want. Since Teemo was invading Gragas red and Gragas never showed up, I go to put a ward bot side. As I do that, Gragas shows up invading Teemo at blue, so I start heading over. Just like before, let's see what happens, then break it down. So again, I try to help my team and I die. If we rewind though to after I warded bot and Teemo was getting invaded, first look at top lane. The wave is pushed into our Mord, who is 0-2 to the enemy Riven, so top has full priority right now. Also, if we look at Teemo, he's level 2 with no mana and less health than Gragas, who's level 3, so obviously we won't win this fight. I actually did know these two things before going in. My plan was to act like I was heading over, then kill the Malzahar in the river since he had no flash. But because I didn't have Ignite, I wasn't even close to killing him fast enough before Riven and Gragas show up. So, what was the right play here? Think about it yourself first, like before. So if we look right here, before I left the lane, the wave was reset. With us both leaving like this, and our top not having priority, it's going to be a 2v3 where we definitely lose. But since I have a wave clear and trading advantage, I should have hard pushed mid to force Malzahar to stay here and collect the wave, then look to move and potentially fight. If Malzahar just ignored the wave and goes to help his jungler, he's trolling and I'll get extremely far ahead anyways. My job isn't to protect my jungler, it's to get myself ahead and carry the game. Alright, moving on to when I get back.
Alright, so I agree and I disagree. And now here's why I disagree. So I disagree because A, we know Gragas started bot, so why would you have to ward the bot side considering that we know he should be top side? Especially because we've seen Teemo invade, we know that he has not cleared his top side yet. Therefore, the ward should have been placed top side, not bot side. If that were the case, we'd be able to kind of establish what was happening. Now, as far as the rotation, well, honestly, it's a Teemo jungle. I wouldn't rotate for that anyway. I would just do my best to stay in lane. There's no reason to rotate for that. The only time you should really be rotating, regardless of the numbers, in my personal opinion, is that if you know for a fact you win the 2v2. So what I mean by that is you know that Graves is stronger than Malzahar, just because Graves has more sustained power of damage than Malzahar does. Malzahar has damage over time. I understand that, but it's not as much as Graves auto attacks, over time. So there's that. And then the other thing is like, well, Teemo versus Gragas. Well, Gragas should be able to easily handle Teemo, in my opinion, as well, if it was a 2v2 situation. And then obviously, Malzahar could put up those little void links. So they don't even win the 2v2. So rotating for that play just wasn't smart in general because of that scenario. You don't really need to worry about the top lane. Don't rotate for something unless you have prio on your lane. and unless you have power in your lane, or if you know you win the 2v2. That's really the only thing there. He is right. Like I said, I do agree with a little bit of it though. The fact that Mordekaiser had no priority, but that doesn't mean Mordekaiser can't rotate. So that doesn't make any sense to me. So anyway, let's move on.
Lane after that, I start pushing the waves again, following my game plan, crashing on the tower and getting some tower damage. I know Gragas shouldn't be here right now because he should have to clear his camps or reset after what just happened. I just saw Riven recall in top lane and my bot is on the enemy bot tower, so I wouldn't think Bard can roam right now. Let's see what happens. Alright, what do you think were the mistakes here? Just like before, we're going to give you some time to think about it. A lot of players would think here, well, you don't have flash, so you shouldn't be pushing. This actually isn't true at all and is a huge misconception that a lot of players have. Pushing gives pressure and pressure wins games. Against something like Malzahar before level 6, the kill pressure is very low unless I troll. So this is actually one of those plays that came down to a small micro mechanic. I was really greedy with my E, not using it to dodge Bard's Q on the minion. To be fair though, it really didn't seem like that would hit. But regardless, it's best to play it safe and just use E, because then I don't get stunned and I'll easily live. But when I say pressure wins games, we can see a small example of why right here. Because I'm pressuring mid so hard, Bard roamed here when he shouldn't have, so my bot lane is just getting a ton of tower plates for free and denying the enemy ADC a lot of farm. I shouldn't die here, so if I didn't misplay and I lived, they actually get nothing and my bot lane gets a lot. If we reverse it and I let Malz push to me, then he can be the one roaming and might make a play somewhere. Pushing and pressuring without dying is what makes really good mid laners. Alright guys, hopefully after watching this...
Alright, I disagree and agree with that again. You shouldn't be playing up when there's a lot of kill pressure. Doesn't matter if Malzahar's 6 or not, Gragas has that kill pressure and they can easily make it so that Graves can't do anything, and they can definitely run Graves down. Like I said, I don't know if they can have, it's hard to say what's factual. It could be a Smurf, it could just be his main account. I'm not saying he's lying or anything. If it is a Smurf though, clearly there's a lot of disrespect going into this game because he is Smurfing, which is why I don't like that, and which is why a lot of my guides don't deal when I'm Smurfing, because there's a lot of disrespect going there. Like, why would you be challenging and respecting a diamond player? You're just playing. But I don't know. It could be his main account. I don't know. So, and even then, it could be like a setup boosted account. You don't know with this type of stuff, which is why I do these, so that I can kind of help you guys understand. The reason why I said I don't agree with that, let's go back here, is that Graves has too much potential to kind of auto shove in order for Malzahar to even be able to roam. It should just be a stalemate mid. Having a stalemate mid is way better than perma shoving, especially when you don't know where the jungler is. He misplayed and he thought the jungler would be bot side, and he was not bot side, he was top side, I believe, right? Is that where he came from? Yeah, he was still top side, right? So even then, he would have still been ganked if the Gragas just decided to go for that gank. So this whole thing, like I said, is just a lot of what he's saying sounds good because you're looking for information and you're trying to understand the best. And if someone says, well, I'm challenger and I do this, you're automatically like, bam, challenger, what? Because I used to be in your shoes, which is why I do this, because I know what it feels like to be on the lower elo spectrum and trying to just find anything out there to help me become a better player. And unfortunately, sometimes people take advantage of that, just like they take advantage of it in the real world with a lot of other stuff when people are actually in need of certain services or certain goods or things like that. Sometimes little things can do that. So the information that he's saying here, there's a lot of things wrong with it. Like I said, he's shoving up because he's just disrespecting the Gragas. He honestly thinks he can 2v1 if this is a Smurf. Why? Because I would do the same thing. I would honestly think I can easily 2v1 because if they go for this gank, it's definitely outplayable. Right here, he's thinking the same thing. I can go for the outplay. That's why he didn't waste his E. He wasn't being greedy with it because he didn't want to dodge it. He was being greedy with it because he wants to try to fight it. So, like I said before, you know, the the amount of information that's going through is, it's not false, but it's kind of fabricated in a sense of, it's embellished. Let's go with that. All right, what he's saying sounds really good, but in actuality, he's just kind of making an excuse of what sounds good post. There's a lot of things that sound great in post that you can do with any video. Say you died to a 2v1, well, you know, I messed up here, and this is how I can easily learn from it. No. You shouldn't be pushing without flash, especially because Gragas has kill pressure, first off. Second off, Malzahar's not going to roam at 6, and if he does roam at 6, he's not going to get anything because bot lane has no kill pressure. Okay, their bot lane has no kill pressure. A Bard and a Kai'Sa has 0 kill pressure, and if Malzahar shows up, they just walk out alive. That's not an excuse to just perma shove up. I do understand his game plan, but at the same time, if you don't know where the jungler is and you don't have flash, let's not play aggro like that. Like I said, you know, this one's a little iffy. This one's a little iffy. It looks like that's the conclusion of the video, though. So what do I kind of rate this video in terms of the clickbaitometer? I need to get one. I just like bam, and then it'd be like a clickbaitometer up top of my head, or like maybe on a, I don't know, one day. From 1 to 10, how clickbaity is this video, and how much knowledge you actually get from this, and how much knowledge you shouldn't really know that you take from it, is probably like a 3 or a 4 out of a 10. 10 being good, 1 being bad. 3 or 4, this video is just kind of a time waster for you guys, honestly. None of this stuff makes sense. The only thing that really kind of makes sense to it is you don't want to die on an invade, obviously, and you don't want to rotate if you don't have prio. He didn't explain that you can't 2v2. If you know you can't 2v2, it's not worth rotating to go help anyway, because if your laner then goes, you don't win. Yeah, this one would be a waste of time, in my personal opinion, this specific video. What? It's skill capped. Okay, so this is skill capped. It's a skill clapped. This is skill capped, and this challenger mindset is how you climb fast all roles. This doesn't make sense, especially if you're a jungler. All roles doesn't really affect it. Okay, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I apologize for this video on behalf of them, because if we are better players, we shouldn't be trying to make any type of video. We shouldn't be pumping out thousands of videos on concepts that are just BS, in my opinion. None of this could help you climb, other than what I stated before. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. This is not to slander them. I'm just saying this specific video was definitely to just grab your attention and gain some views for some monetizations. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. And until next time, you know what I always say, thank you for approaching this like a coach.